everyone, and welcome back to another Storytime video. And today I am going to talk about how I chose my career and what I do, in case you guys don't know. Now, before I get into this whole thing, I just want to say that you don't have to go to college, much less a 4-year school, to be very successful in life. You can be very successful without having to go to a 4-year school or a tech school, which is what I ended up doing. Because I, like a whole bunch of other people out there, did not think that a 4-year college was the right move for us. For whatever reason, whether it be that you didn't think you would succeed, or financials got in the way, or you couldn't figure out what to do. You know, you can be very successful with a tech school like I did. Sorry. Or an online class. Or, you know, like I said, I mean, you don't have to go to college to be successful. There are plenty of successful people out there that just have a high school education. So, yeah, heck yeah, you can be successful in life. But I'm going to talk about the road that I took to deciding what I want for my career. Now, I got reminded of this because I am getting my wisdom teeth removed today, as a matter of fact, and I was considering dentistry and IT as what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And IT won out. And you guys are going to hear the process as this video goes along. So, if you choose to go to college, here's what I recommend you do. But, like I said, you can be very successful without having gone to college at all. So, just wanted to stress that, because some people, like, there's a stigma that says you have to go to college, a 4-year college, to be successful, much less nevertheless a tech school or an online school where you can get a college degree as well. You don't have to have one. You don't have to have one in order to be successful. But, sorry. So, you have chosen to go to school, or that you are going to go to school one day. Now, I had to wait on tech school, and going back to school, that's great. I mean, sometimes it might not work out for you when you graduate high school, because, you know, you might want to work to be able to pay off debt, or you might not exactly know what you want to do straight off the jump out of high school, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, like I've said, if it's fine and you can be very successful without going to school, period, like for the rest of your life after high school, then of course you can be very successful and do great things even if you go back to school, whether you're in your mid to late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, heck, even 90s. I mean, there was like a 90-something-year-old woman that finally got her college education. But, so I just wanted to kind of stress that because, sorry, because there is that stigma that is there. Because there is that stigma that's there with college and all that, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, how did I start figuring out what I wanted to do as a profession. Now, I started to think about this, I think my freshman year. Yeah, so it was fall of my freshman year of high school. I was trying to think about whether I wanted to go to school or go to college, or if I just didn't want to. Like, I was trying to figure out if a 4-year school was right for me. And the thing is, sorry, I'm coughing so much. But the thing is once I figured out that, yes, I did want to go to, at the time, I wanted to go to a 4-year school. Now, I'll get into why my mind was changed a little later on. So be patient with me and you'll get your answer. So I spent the first 2 or 3 months of my freshman year of high school trying to decide if college was right for me. Because previously, before high school, I hadn't really, like, I went to a small school before high school, so, and I knew that, and I figured that a 4-year school would be a lot bigger, so I was trying to kind of figure out that transition in my brain, and just trying to adjust to just being in basically a fish bowl with a couple fish, to just being dropped into a pond, a big pond with a whole bunch of fish. So there was that. And then once I figured out that, yes, I did want to go to college, and I was fully set on the fact that I wanted to continue my education after high school, I went, okay, how do I determine what I want to do? Like, what do I want to study? What do I want to go to school for? Just all that stuff. So, of course, when you're first starting out, it's a little overwhelming at first when you don't exactly know what to do, but you're trying to pick between a whole bunch of stuff to do. Like, it can get it can get easily overwhelming. I'm good. So, it can get easily overwhelming to try to figure that out. And so I didn't exactly know where to start. And at some point in spring of my freshman year of high school, I'd say about spring break of my freshman year of high school, it kind of dawned on me. Well, not only that I knew from the jump that I am smart enough to know, I'm smart enough, and I am ambitious enough, which is funny that I stumble on that, but I'm smart enough and I am ambitious enough to realize that as long as I have the ability, I can set my mind to doing anything that I want. So, once I got to that point, it was a matter of, okay. And then it, just as I was starting to say, it dawned on me. I went, okay, so I really want to enjoy what I do for the rest of my life. Which, by the way, I don't mind what people do, and I'm not going to judge people in what they do, as long as it's legal. But I just tell people, hey, do something that makes you happy, because there's no point in working a career or working a job, if you just have a job, for decades on end, if you're just miserable all the time. Plus, younger people that are my age, you know, the chances of us retiring are well, the ages in which we're going to be able to get retire keep getting pushed back. And, you know, so younger people that are coming up into the workforce might have to work longer and longer because, you know, sorry, there's just not as much funds there. And it's just, you know, but you gotta do what you love. And so once I realized that that is what I should focus on, I went, okay, how do I get to that point where I can figure out what I'm going to be able to do what I love? And so I went, okay, how do I learn stuff? Like, how do I feel the most comfortable in school? How do I learn the best? You know, because certain jobs, you just use your brain all the time. Certain jobs, you just use your hands all the time. And there's other jobs where there's a mixture of both. However, there's some personality that comes into play. So, for example, do you really like to talk to people? Or do you like to take care of animals? Or well, do you love animals? Or do you really like to use your hands? Or do you like to kind of boss people around? You know, just those are just a few things that I can think of that, based on your personality, would really impact what you would consider. Like if you really like taking care of animals or that you love animals, great, be a veterinarian, or, you know, do something with animals, whether it be vet science or or, you know, you just want to work at a pound or something like that, or some other job that, you know, you can work with animals all the time. Or I don't know, maybe you like, just as I said, working with your hands like I do. Then, you know, there are plenty of jobs out there where you can use your hands every day, all day, every day. And, you know, like IT and dentistry, that's two things that I considered when I was picking between what I wanted to do. Now, so, based on your personality, like based on how my brain works, I am really good with numbers. So, and I don't remember what other professions I was considering, but I remember I was considering being an accountant. I was considering being a dentist. I was considering IT, and and because of how so detailed oriented, like if somebody gives me specific directions, that's when I work best as well, as opposed to it being vague, by the way. So, based on that, and based on how detail-oriented I am, I went, okay, so being a police officer would also be something that I could excel at based on my personality. And so I went, and there were like one or two other things, but I don't remember off the top of my head. It's been a long time since I considered it and realized what I wanted to do, and then just did it. And I'm going to take you through that whole process. But I would say figure out a list of 5 to 6 things based on your personality. I mean, I listed off 4 that I was considering right then and there. But, so, then, based on that, try to pick 2 or 3 things that you would really excel at and that you would love to do forever. Because I didn't think that I'd want to be an accountant forever. Like, do numbers day in, day out. Just look at them for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week. I thought, no, I just don't want to do that. Because looking at numbers in small moderation, I love that. But I don't know if I would want big, massive, just chunks of looking at data. I think, and numbers, just all day, every day. I think I would go crazy eventually. And so I went, nope. And with a police officer, I was unsure if I would truly like that. Even though I think I could really excel at it. Just because you would excel at a job doesn't necessarily mean that you would enjoy it. Like, think about something that you're really good at, but that you don't enjoy. And I'm sure that there are some professions out there that you could do very well, but that you wouldn't enjoy doing for decades. And so basically ruled out the accountant, police officer, and the 1 or 2 other things that I can't think of. Sorry. Sorry, I'm good. So, and then, so it came down between IT and dentistry. And so I figured that out. I basically spent sophomore year trying to pick between 2 or 3 things that I would really excel at, and that, you know, I kind of wanted to shrink my list down so that, you know, I could start kind of thinking about schools, because, you know, if high schools, at least when I was going there, were stressing, well, when they would stress about going to college, they would say, like, hey, junior year is when you gotta kind of figure it out. And so that's when I started to think about what 2 things I wanted to debate between were. And so I basically spent that whole school year trying to pick between IT and dentistry, because I was pretty much dead set that I wanted to do one of those 2 things. And I would have been very, very happy at that point if I would have chosen one of the 2. So, so throughout the course of my junior year, I kept going back and forth between dentistry and then IT. Like, sometimes I'd be full on dentistry, sometimes I'd be full on IT. Now, like I said, I mean, they both work with their hands, and, you know, really like to work with computers and stuff, and I have a whole bunch of family that are dentists, so that really helped me narrow it down between those two because I had the resources available to me to where I could just ask and really talk and pick people's brains. And that's really what you have to do when you're when you're trying to pick a profession, especially with the ones that you think you would excel at. Is go, okay, so I want to pick a dentist's brain, or I want to pick an IT guy's brain or girl's brain to figure out like what they like about their job. What are some of the pros and cons, and because working for working a career for a certain company might be different company to company. So I would recommend asking multiple people. But regardless, so so once I had both feet in IT as opposed to 1 foot in IT and 1 foot in dentistry, I then went, okay, what is the best school that I can go to that would provide me a great opportunity to excel at IT? And I found it, a technical school that I had to wait on, but but the wait was totally worth it. And so when I've said that I went back to school, that's what I mean. Like, there was a gap between when I was in high school and when I was in college. There was almost a 3-year gap between that I had to wait, to where the freshmen that were there my senior year of high school, they were seniors themselves when I finally got to start college myself. So even if you have to wait on college like I did, and one of these days I will tell the full story about having to wait on school. But this is not but this is not that day. Unfortunately for some of you, yeah, this is just not that day. But regardless, I'm okay. I'm good. Trust me. So, no matter if you have to wait on school, or no matter how long, well, no matter if you have to wait on school, that's perfectly fine. If you have to take a year or 2 years to try to figure out what you want to do, even with narrowing it down to 2, even if you have to spend a couple of 2-3 years once you have it narrowed down, then that's perfectly fine, because it took me a year. But I kind of thought that I would be able to kind of start right after school, or right after high school. And I'm glad that I didn't have to wait, but throughout all my wait, I was still 100% in IT, and I still wanted to do IT, and I didn't change my mind, period. Now, in terms of waiting between, or spending as much time as you need to between trying to pick between 2 or 3 professions, I would say take as much time as you need, because that is a huge decision that you'll make. Now, I'm not trying to add pressure on you, because in my opinion, as long as it's legal, there's no wrong answer, because whatever you're going to pick, I'm sure you're going to be perfectly happy in whatever you pick. Now, if you do decide to change your mind later on, like 5-10 years down the road, you go, okay, well, I'm not happy with this. Well, that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But that's part of what taking as much time as you need to try to pick and being full on board, that's what I'm trying to help prevent here. But, I mean, it might take you 5 years from the time where you were like, okay, I want to go to school, through the whole process, and that's fine. I mean, it takes time, and I say take as much time as you need, and, you know, as long as you commit to what you want to do, and you make sure that what you pick is truly what you want to do. Like, I'm very happy with IT. There's not a day that goes by where I think, man, I wish I'd gone to dental school. Like, I've made a massive mistake. No, there's not a single day that goes by that I regret doing IT. Not a single day. And even if I did decide, excuse me, even if I did decide that I didn't want to do IT anymore, you know what? That's perfectly fine, because I have backup options. I have backup options in mind. Now, I don't think I would ever stop doing IT, but it's never bad to have backup options in mind, and I have 2 or 3 in mind. So I might not even do dentistry if I didn't want to do IT anymore, because of where I am in my life at this point. But I think that I'm perfectly content with IT. I love my career. I love my bosses. I love my job. I mean, certainly my job could be a bit better, but, you know, there is no perfect job out there. And you're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days. And even on my bad days, I try to be very appreciative of the fact that I was able to go back to school, get my degree, and work and have very awesome bosses that love me at work. That certainly makes it so worthwhile, in my opinion. And I absolutely love my supervisor and manager. But that was very long, and this is the second time I've done this, because I accidentally deleted the first take of this, but I think this take is twice as long, and it's far more detailed than the first, and I am much happier with the second take than I am the first, because I was able to better think about what I wanted to do, and I was able to remember more information as I kind of dove down and kind of talked about it with parents and, you know, whoever else. I'm like, hey, well, do you remember this or that? And, you know, they were kind of able to help fill in a few of the gaps, if you will, that I couldn't remember. But that will pretty much do it for me today. And so, yes, guys, I do believe that will do it for this storytime video. And till next storytime video, I will see you later. Goodbye, guys! Thank you all for watching.